essentially, I believe like our music has always served as our conversations. So whatever we were experiencing in our lives, that's what our music was going to reflect.
That's right.
So if the frustration of what our music said or reflected or etc. was, there was going to be like a root that came from that. And so essentially, if we are in a space where individuals want clout and they want money and they want bitches and etc. it's also because we have continuously perpetuated the idea that those people that have those things are of value, and so for that reason they don't have to necessarily be themselves in order for them to gain those levels of success that we respect as a people. And so the music will reflect that, because at the end of the day, it's what we buy, it's what the dollar is going to, etc. I think one of our major issues as a society, like black people, people of color, brown people, etc., our issue is that we live in spaces of absolution where, I mean, I personally do it, so I know that that's something that we participate in, where we feel as though if we feel one thing and we express one emotion, that's the only one that we can have, and anything else outside of that is against us. And so the feeling of like, we talked about like duality, and we talked about like whether or not we can continue to listen to an artist if their life isn't reflective of the music that they make. And all in all, I think the biggest issue that we have to, at the end of the day, deal with is whether or not we're going to approach the problems that we all feel and we face and we talk about in circulation, or whether or not we're going to just allow the industry to do what it wants to do in terms of exploiting those individuals that create that art. Yes. So that being said, like,
Kanye is as much of a musical genius as we may call him, or intellectual, socially. He's also very misinformed, but at the same time, he knows what he's doing. So the fact that you could break down a timeline like that of when he first meets with Trump, loses memory, all these other things, it's a lot of him doing his own damage control. And because he also knows that his fans, or just the masses as a whole, will embrace him for what he is giving people, it's like I feel like he has a tendency to lean on that, to kind of make what the wrong that he does okay. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna explain it. No, I didn't mean that on TMZ. Oh, no, I'm gonna tweet out the real thing that I meant. No, it's, you know what you're doing. And although you are going through certain things that are trying in your life, you can't just use people as a pawn, because you just broke down a timeline. And I think that is so important to understanding how people's lives, especially in the public, that we revere at such a high regard, need. Like, we need that, because we have to hold them accountable.
But there's been a word that's been thrown around a lot in relation to Kanye and this whole thing, and it's been monolith. How black people aren't a monolith. Like, we don't have to vote Democrat. We don't have to subscribe to the social norms when it comes to politics and our ideals that most black people have been subjected to through generations. The downside of you saying Kanye speaks for himself is, unfortunately, when it comes to white America in totality, we don't have the luxury of being seen as a monolith. We're all grouped as one thing. So when somebody has, yes, brother. So as somebody is pro-lip, yes.
I think that's a big generalization.
It's the generalization. Unfortunately, I know we hate to hear it amongst us in this room. Yes, I look at you, you're your own man, she's her own woman. But unfortunately, in the country that we live in right now, in the country that we have been living in, that hasn't been the case. So with Kanye being touted as somebody who has reach in the black community, the danger that comes with that is when Kanye says, yeah, Trump is cool, I like Trump, we all need to love Trump. What that does is minimize our gripes and our pain, because what white America does is they look at Kanye and go, well, if that guy gets it, why can't you guys do the same thing?
Yeah, I think he was trolling for a little minute, and then it went wrong. Like, the dude used the political landscape to sit up here and promote whatever agenda he had to promote. But then realized, yo, this shit is rigged. Like, this shit is turning into something where I can get hurt. You know what I mean? And like you said, he was uninformed. He doesn't know politics, but he thought by standing next to the man and, you know, grinning. And the man went to the White House. That's not no genius, because when you start using politics to talk you're talking for me now.
Yeah.
You're talking for me. And so when he realized, yo, he's affecting other people, that's when he's like, yo, let me bow out. Because people were telling him, yo, son, you talking for me and you making an embarrassment. He went up there and said, yo, you should free Larry Hoover. So you use your platform to tell the president to free Larry Hoover. He's been in jail for dumb long. Yo, there's mad shit going on.
Say like the influence of his handlers, like it's slightly
But why is,
different.
how is that his, how is
The reason why I say,
handlers?
when I say
His wife and
handlers,
family.
no.
So it's his handlers, this is
no.
some get out situation.
His mother was family. Kim Kardashian,
He has a wife with kids.
listen to what I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. I get that he saw a woman and he loves the woman. I get love, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever fucking Kanye's definition of love is alters every album or whatever. Like he fell in love with Kim Kardashian, I get it, they had a kid. But we can't like turn a blind eye that every time Kanye does something, who's the person that jumps and like says everything's okay? It's Kim. Like Kim has more influence than Kanye does. So when she says something, white America hears it differently than Kanye. And now you're taking somebody like Kanye West, who is heralded by the black community, and now you have Kim Kardashian, who's heralded by the white community. And now these two people are a couple. So when I say handler, no matter what we say, and I'm not having a master complex, but it is what it is. Like her voice is bigger. So I'm just saying that those two people together, who knows what conversation or information are you getting from Kim Kardashian at night when you're on the pillow? What information are you getting? What is she telling you? What the fuck did this? Oh my God, I went out, babe. I said slavery is a choice. What the fuck can she say to him? What can she say to him?
Not say your mother.
That's all she can say. She don't have no information. She don't have no nigga. Come here, let me show you a history book. You know what I'm saying? She don't have no black woman in her. That's the to the side. It does matter, my nigga. It does matter, my nigga.
The only point that I want to bring up is idolization versus the culture of politics. And so, I'm not speaking as a Kanye fan. I appreciate his music, but when I think of something like sports, right? About 15 years ago, Tiger Woods was in a press conference, and he spoke adamantly about not speaking on certain things and not being a voice for black people in golf. And so I think when we look at the whole Kanye scenario, and we also see what it did to him internally. Kanye was on a lot of speaking tours after that about the mental anguish that he suffered, now realizing this influence and this platform and this mirror, because that's what it was for him. It was, you know, when you have when you have any type of performance, you have the spectacular, which is the performance itself, the spectacle, and the spectator. And Kanye was all three at some point. And I think when we as a people beyond color really start to discern idolization in our own lives, then Kanye being a free thinker or a president or an influencer has no meaning. The whole reason that our entire president and our political system is what it is because it's a system built off idolization. And so when we talk about this conversation, Kanye West and politics, are we perpetuating actual free thought, or are we perpetuating this culture of idolization?